Picture your phone in your hand. Open the part of it that holds the people. Your contacts, your followers, the long scroll of names you have collected over a lifetime. There might be hundreds. There might be thousands. And as your thumb moves down that list, something quietly strange happens. The names start to go thin. Near the top are the people you would call at 3 in the morning. A little lower, the people you would invite to dinner. And then, somewhere further down, you cross an invisible line. After that line, every name is a stranger you once met. Here is the unsettling question. How many people can you actually know, not follow, not recognize, truly know, keep track of, care about, hold steady in your mind as a real and living person? The obvious answer is, as many as you want. We are social creatures. We have phones and feeds and group chats. We can carry the whole world in our pocket. Surely there is no ceiling on something as soft and human as friendship. But researchers who study this suspect there is a ceiling. And it is lower than you would ever guess. The number they keep arriving at is around 150. The story behind that number starts somewhere unexpected, with monkeys. Decades ago, an anthropologist was looking at primates, and he noticed a pattern. The bigger the brain a species had, the bigger the social group it lived in. Small-brained primates kept to small troops. Big-brained ones lived in crowds. It was as if the brain set a budget, and the size of the group could not run past it. So he asked the natural next question. If you take the size of the human brain and you follow that same line, what group size does it predict for us? The answer that fell out was roughly 150. Not a law, not a hard wall, but a soft, recurring ceiling on the number of stable relationships one person seems able to hold. And the idea is gentler than it first sounds. It is not that you forget anyone past 150. It is that knowing a person well is expensive. It costs attention. It costs memory. To really know someone, you have to track who they are, what they care about, what happened to them last week, how they fit with everyone else you know. That is real work, done quietly, in the background of your mind. And one idea is simply that the brain only has so much of that to spend. Think for a second about what your mind is actually doing when you remember a friend. You are not just holding their face. You are holding the whole web around them. Who they are married to, who they cannot stand, the thing they are afraid of, the joke that only works with them. And you have to hold that web for every single person you know, all at once. All the time. The wonder is not that there is a limit. The wonder is that the number is as high as it is. What makes the number feel true is what researchers noticed next. Our relationships do not sit in one flat pile. They seem to nest in layers, like rings around a center. At the very middle is a tiny circle. Just a handful of people, the ones you truly lean on. Around them, a slightly wider ring of maybe 15 close friends. Around that, a ring of perhaps 50 good friends. And around all of it, the full 150. Everyone you would call a genuine acquaintance. Everyone whose name comes with a face and a story. And here is the quiet part. Those rings appear to trade against each other. You only have so much warmth to give. Let someone new into the inner circle, and someone, gently, drifts out. You feel this when you fall in love and your friends see less of you. You feel it when a new baby arrives, and the rest of the world goes soft and far away. The rings are not cruel. They are just full. There is something almost tidal about it. People you once spoke to every day slide outward, ring by ring, until one morning you realize you would not know what to say to them anymore. And others come rushing in. The faces change, but the shape holds. The inner circle stays small. It seems to want to stay small. And maybe that is the part we resist most. The suspicion that closeness is not something you can simply decide to have more of, the way you decide to follow more accounts. It has to be paid for, in time, slowly, with someone real on the other end. Now, before this hardens into a rule, hear the honest part. The number is a smudge, not a line. It is an average pulled across many people, and it is debated, and some argue the whole estimate is shakier than it sounds. Real people vary enormously. The shy person and the relentless host do not live by the same figure. So do not take 150 as a verdict on your life. Take it as a rough shape. A reminder that the budget, whatever its exact size, is real. Which brings us to the strangest place this idea has landed. The world you are holding right now. Because we built machines that promise to erase the ceiling. You can have 10,000 followers, 100,000. You can broadcast to a stadium of strangers from your bed. And for a moment, it can feel like you have outrun the old limit. Like you finally know everyone. But the brain did not get the upgrade. Behind the enormous number, the small one is still there, unchanged. You still only really hold about 150. The rest are not friends. They are an audience. The feed lets you watch 1,000 lives go by. It does not give you the room to carry them. And maybe that is why so much of modern connection leaves a faint ache behind it. We are richer in contacts than any humans who have ever lived, and we quietly suspect we are poorer in the thing the contacts were supposed to be. We mistook the size of the list for the size of the love. So tonight, scroll your thousands if you like. But know that somewhere in that crowd are the few your mind has actually made room for. The names are nearly free. The room is not.